Fortunate.
As soon as I'm live.
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear.
Enjoying the weather at the moment.
What kind of weather you guys got out there?
It's 60 degrees and clear.
What state are you in right now?
I'm up in Washington, Western Washington.
Nice. I didn't know where you were staying at these days. Hadn't seen you in a while.
Hey, I'm moving around, so
always moving around.
Yeah.
No, I was just telling Rocco. I'm like, I was talking to this guy before. I was like, when I retire, that's what I want to do. I just want to travel and go check everything out because Rocco was asking me about my kayaking. I don't know if you guys have met, but yeah, this is Rocco Fowler up to your.
Hey, Rocco.
But, he was telling him about my kayak trip that I just did last weekend. I did 72 miles solo, and was just
awesome.
Yeah, and I was just doing the 10.
You're cruising.
Oh yeah, I averaged about 4 miles an hour, probably when I was paddling. So like 2 days because I start late on one day and then I have a full day. So one day I'm doing about 12 hours of paddling.
Right.
It keeps me pretty busy. But I was just stealth camping on the way and pitching a tent between two. It was a tent hammock between two trees. And just kind of around the way.
Jake, you did it. Yeah.
But I was like, man, that's what I want to do when I get older. I just want to like travel like that and just camp all the time, live cheap. And that's why I was referencing you. I'm like, dude, I love his lifestyle. Like it's something I actually really want. I don't want to live in a city or anything like that.
I want to live a life that my backpack isn't sitting like 2 feet from me right now.
You could leave at any moment. I like that. I like the freedom of it. It feels like that to me is so cool. Like I couldn't walk away.
No, I can't quite reach it, so it's more than 2 feet.
And it's always good if you have a vehicle too at the same time.
Well, I have a 40-foot motorhome. It's a really nice motorhome. My wife lives in there. I live outside. I'm under a 10 by 15 pop-up right now. I got my cot right behind me, is where I sleep. My kitchen is over here. You can't see it because it's in the dark. But I have barbecue, a Blackstone grill. I mean, I have everything right here. I
was telling him, and your kid's usually next to you playing video games. Like you guys got quite the setup.
Yeah. No, he is right outside the other side right now playing video games.
Yeah.
It's a different kind. It's a minimal lifestyle. I'll say that. It's very minimal. We don't have a whole lot with us, but we got internet. So, for my wife, that's the biggest one. She likes to be entertained by the television, so gotta have internet.
You gotta keep the wife happy.
Yeah. And for me, joining live streams, stuff like that, I mean, last couple of months, I haven't had internet. So I haven't been up on many panels. But I'm back where I got internet now. Why not, jump back into the stream?
I appreciate it, man. You haven't met Rocco, but Rocco's doing a regular show with Jake Hudson now. They got a regular show that they're doing over there, and Rocco's basically the co-host on their weekly show.
Good.
Yeah.
Got some good guests coming up. Got some good really good guests.
I've been thinking about starting to do interviews once a week.
Yeah, with
I just, for me, my hard ones. I'm not good at that.
Like name of the show is Creeker Review. Speak of the Devil, he just put up Creaker Review.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Me and him are friends now on Facebook. He's been kind of sharing stuff with me a little bit more.
Yeah, he mentioned me in that video. No, yeah, so it's Creaker Review, and there's going to be different independent artists that I'm going to try to get on there, and different types of people, good people.
Cool. Not my thing, but cool.
I was gonna say you're a pretty good people person. I could see, Tony, that you'd be able to do reviews. I mean, not reviews, interviews.
Yeah, my problem is the insecurity, I guess. That's got to be always the biggest one. You know what I mean?
He's right about that. That's definitely.
Do I really? Can I really plan ahead and ask these questions? No, I'm not one of those people. There's no way I could do that. I have to go straight in, head to head, and go from there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the video would turn out. I really don't care. I already got my first 5 guys scheduled and ready to go. And it's mostly around the camping and the outdoors thing for me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm in all of it,
Well, that's what I mean. Anybody, Rocco knows this about me. I don't come in with a list of questions for anybody. I just come in and talk to people. That's the only way I like to tackle it. If we end up talking about something, great. If we don't have much to talk about, then the show will only be so long. Like.
Well,
Organically.
I've had a few interviews here on YouTube, and that's kind of the way everybody would deal with me when they were interviewing me. Because I got a lot. There's so much out there. You got to be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes one of the interviews is all about survival and how I felt about how I dealt with it, and because for those of you who don't know, I spent 1.5 years on my own out in the woods.
Jacob informed me. I was like, wow, what an experience.
I just gave a vague description of it, Tony. You can probably tell the story better than I did, but I was like, after he lost somebody in his family, I was like, he just walked out and lived in the woods until one of his buddies.
Yeah, you get lost. You get lost.
Oh, if it wasn't for some guy finding me out in the middle of freaking nowhere in the Olympic Mountains, I would have never come back.
Right.
This guy convinced me, come back to society, start dealing with society, that kind of thing. I was happy.
I understand. I get it.
The reasons I turned and walked away, yeah. Loss in the family, but it was a big loss for me. And I just turned and walked away. 1.5 years later, I came back.
Yeah.
For me, it was absolutely nothing. But for most people out there, it probably could have been death.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that could never do that.
Yeah, no.
It takes a lot to survive by
and it's not just the
don't get me wrong, I don't like living in congestion.
You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have your mental aptitude to say I'm going forward, starving day by day, saying I'm going forward.
Well, yeah, you got to push yourself. Otherwise, you're going to fail. That's for damn sure. You can't just lay there and expect things to happen for you.
They can't. They won't.
True. You actually,
a dag bird. He just posted something.
coming back to society was a bitch.
Johnny Gobble, won't you cry me river? That's
What was it? What was it like to
making
come
fun.
back to society? I couldn't even imagine that. Like coming back into
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
uh,
Like
I just went to
what's
work.
this?
Yeah, I just
Huh.
went to work.
Yeah,
I'm a
Right back to
I'm a
work.
carpenter, so I just went to work and work and work. That's what my daily thing was. Then I'd head out to wherever I was camped. So I had enough money to upgrade myself to I'm in a place to live, basically.
right.
So just saving up and then eventually moving into a bigger place. What made you?
Saving
What made
up,
you?
man.
Start,
I was drinking. I was on drugs. I wasn't saving up. I might get a job with a good paycheck. Then might spot to sleep.
yeah.
Took years. It took me I'd say probably like 5 years before I had a place to really sleep that wasn't in my tent.
What made you walk away from the city life again though? When like you and your wife started traveling and you and your
It was
family started
her.
traveling.
I've always been good to be out there on my own. My wife, we went camping, and she decided she didn't want to go home. Now, 2 years later, we're still doing it. Not going home.
I like
Move
that.
on. Moving on, man. We're both retired now. No restrictions where we got to be or anything. So why not? I mean, I've explored the Washington coast, the Oregon coast, California coast. I did that in my teens. I went from Mexico to Canada, hit every beach.
Damn.
Now I'm getting to do it again on my own whim.
I couldn't even imagine. That's such experience. Hitting every beach from Canada to Mexico.
Oh
Like
man, that
the
was
things
the
you must have
best
seen.
3 weeks I ever had.
I bet.
Oh, we were so drugged up. I will say that.
It was probably a party. I mean, I get it.
Laguna Beach was the best. So you got into Oregon and you started seeing these pristine beaches of cliffs and all that.
Well, somebody in the chat was saying your beard looks like it grew long since the last time you were on stream with us.
Probably.
Probably
It
getting a
grows
little longer.
fast. Probably should have it tied up.
Still doing a lot of crafting and collecting stones and all that.
Well, I never stopped collecting stones, you know that. But no, I've kind of been taking the summer off so far.
Nice.
Winter's going to come soon enough, and I'll be back to making necklaces and belts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a ton of rocks I need to polish.
I figured you always
Just
had that.
from Utah.
You always had your Tumblr going.
Yeah, I haven't had it going in probably a month or so now. But yeah, I got a ton of rocks from Utah. I need to get cycling, make some really cool stuff out of that.
Nice. Ooh. So what you been up to? Just enjoying the outdoors and enjoying the weather?
Well, I'm definitely enjoying the weather. It's 60 degrees here.
Nice.
Normally this time of year, we're still in the 70s.
Oh, it's still in the 70s usually? I figured Washington was a little cooler. Yeah.
It is a little cooler, but at this point in time, 60 degrees. It's kind of cold. It should be 7. It's only 11 o'clock. Yeah, it should still be 70.
Man, gosh, that's I was talking about that. I want to go the next like big camping trip I want to go on is either in the mountains or in a desert somewhere because I've never stayed out in the desert either. I think that would be fun. I wouldn't mind going to like Nevada or I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably go to the Appalachians for a mountain trip. It's nice and close.
Yeah, but you guys don't have mountains over there, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I mean. Appalachia is not too far from Illinois, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
We got a decent mountain range. It's probably within 3 hours of me driving. We got a mountain range over here too.
You know what? I
big.
can hit almost 7 different climates in 4 hours.
Yeah. You can go snowboarding right to the beach.
Washington's crazy, man.
That whole coast is. I mean, they got some areas where you could go snowboarding in the same town that you can go out to the beach. Like, it's
same
insane.
day.
Yeah. Gonna go surfing and snowboarding in the same day.
I don't think that. I think they shut down most of the passes now, so there's no skiing or anything up there.
Not cold
right
enough
now.
up there.
We were up there, 2 weeks ago? T-shirts and shorts. So, yeah, I don't see much as far as skiing or doing that right now. But in the summertime or the wintertime, yeah, go skiing in the mountains, go surfing in the ocean.
Yeah. I mean, might as well take advantage of everything you got. I would have. I mean, gosh, I've never been surfing. That's always been one of the things I wanted to learn. I like water sports a lot, and never got to do a lot of surfing. I do a lot of kneeboarding.
Being in the water. I don't know about sports so much. I was never a diver. I was never a heavy good swimmer. But you give me a snorkel and a mask, I'm gone.
I'm gonna say diving isn't. I don't consider that a sport. Like it's almost like leisure. Same with some of the things I was just calling sports. They're more leisure for me, like getting pulled behind a boat on like some kind of a board. Like that's not a sport to me as much as it's just a good time.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with good times.
Right. If you think about it like a sport and you think about work, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that either. I get you on that.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, water, just get me in the water. I'm good.
That's true. When I went camping or kayaking 2 weeks ago with the girlfriend, we went by a group of floaters. They're just like a group of like 70 people with inner tubes just all together. And they're just floating down this river with like coolers all attached to them.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they're all sunburnt. Yeah, they're all sunburnt and drunk, and they're just waiting to get to the end. It's like an 8-hour float or something like that. And if you're not used to doing it, I'm like, it's a long distance on this.
That's a long ways. Yep.
Yeah. Just sitting there baking in the sun.
Yeah, we used to do a 16-hour float.
Oof.
And we'd stay overnight halfway down the road.
That's a rough one. I don't like doing floating. I like to have a little bit of control of where I'm going. I like some kind of a paddle or something.
Yeah, it's your foot in the floor.
Right. It's about all you can do. Run in a different direction.
Yeah.
Hang off the side and kick your feet for a little bit.
And don't let the cooler loose.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, we're turning around.
Yeah, we used to do a 16-hour float trip. It was all about same thing, having fun, a little drinking for sure, and just floating down the river. All right, it's getting dark. We pull over to the side, make camp. Get up the next morning, jump in the river.
Did you guys bring camping gear and stuff, or do you guys just?
Yeah, we usually brought a tent, couple sleeping bags.
Nice.
You know, no idea what we're doing compared to what we know about it doing now. You know.
Oh yeah, you were just enjoying yourselves. It's easier to wing it when you're younger, and you learn experience over time. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I always have. Like when I go camping now, I learned. Well, because I like camping off of my kayak now. Like that's my favorite thing is to be able to pack out my kayak and have it light enough where I can get everything that I want with me. And
Yeah. Pick it up, move it.
oh yeah, and then still be able to move it, or when you put it in the water, it still floats. You can't add 500 pounds of shit onto your kayak and expect to be able to go anywhere. But yeah, that was one of my favorite things to do. I could plan out, all my food. Gosh, and food is so cheap when I'm just buying for myself and just traveling like that. Like I didn't realize how inexpensive food is, especially when you're not storing it in the fridge and you have to have all these things for different meals. And I'm like,
oh no, I need something to eat tonight.
it's easier. I can pack pretty light.
Yeah, food's always a big one. I mean, I got this 11-day canoe trip coming up. I don't know. Food's probably heavier than my backpack.
If I'm camping and I know where I'm going and I know where the good fishing spots are, I'll bring seasoning and not food. Like there's totally times I can just go without bringing food because I know I'm going to catch something. Like
right.
And I've gotten so good at prepping fish, and I like fish. Like I grew up on fishing, and just because of our region, like we had a lot of catfish. I went up north for a little while and did some fishing up there, and I did it with my cousins, and they go camping a lot, but they've never cleaned and prepared fish, and I taught them how to do it and did it by hand and showed them pretty much how to do it, and if they wanted to do it, they could do it this way, and just try little fillets and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. Where I don't know. There's something about if you catch something yourself and you can prepare it yourself and you eat the whole thing and you're not wasting it. Like I feel good about it afterward. Like it's the kind of nourishment I want.
Yeah. Yeah, where I'm going, I don't have that option.
You haven't got any fishing out there?
I spent many years with pulling the same waters, trying everything. Then we'd be sitting there at camp right on the bank of the lake and splash, splash, splash. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? There's fish in there, and I've seen them snorkeling around.
They just don't like my hook.
Yeah, they just don't like anything I put out there, No, I'm not going to have that option for extracurricular food, but if we catch something, yeah. I mean, I may not have a license, but I always carry a fishing line and a hook.
No, yeah. No, I'm the same way. If the other thing I'm big about, like if I'm actually catching food to survive, I have so many methods where I'm not sitting there holding a pole. I'll set up.
No. I'd set up
a lot
traps.
Of people that'll do
way sooner.
Do jugging. Have you ever heard of jugging? People use the trash on the side of the water that needs to be picked up anyway. Tie a hook to it and then just go track it down the next day. Like then your pole's just out there. Like it'll eventually get eaten. Otherwise, you just reset the bait and come check it the next day.
Yeah.
There's a couple tricks with digging trenches and making a hole. A hollowed out hole where something could swim in, but it can't swim out. You can make a little small pond where they'll eventually fill in. Like the fish will just swim right into it. And you actually.
We don't have that option here.
Anybody can do that if they have a bank. If there's a bank on any river, you can set one of those up. That's all you need. You just need a shovel and a bank. It's an interesting trick because fish just like to swim into holes. That's how they build their homes and where they decide to breed. And if they think they found one, you just pretty much set them up, or you can just have them all funnel into one little pond that you got going on. You can funnel them into an area that's as round as your arms, and they'll just swim right into it. You just make it deeper than the surrounding water. That way, it fills up a little bit, so they got something to swim right
Yeah.
into. They're fresh until you get there.
That makes sense.
Back out. I saw guys doing that in the Amazon. That's how like tribes would go fishing. There was no reason for them to sit out there with a pole and a net or anything like that. They were like, no,
Don't spare them.
oh yeah, and then you're never over hunting them because there's always going to be fish going somewhere else.
Yeah, up here it's our rivers are rock.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it with that as well.
Yeah, I've made
it'd be hard
fish
to
traps with
bore out.
rocks. Make jetties to catch them in and
Yeah.
gaff them out. Did that with salmon. We had a lot of salmon runs here in the Northwest, and yeah, I lived off those quite a bit.
Don't the salmon jump a lot? Can't you net them?
Yeah, you can, but you have to make a net.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to do, even with scraps.
Well,
nets are doable.
I made small fish nets with just a cedar root.
Okay.
The root of the cedar tree. It strips down pretty good and works out, and does. I used it for catching trout.
Nice.
And, just put a net across the river, catch them, and then, gaff them out.
Ooh, I bought
Spend enough time in the woods, you do about what you have to.
Oh, yeah. You got to get used to it. I bought a headlamp for the first time because I've always kind of been against them because I've never really wanted to use them. And
Headlamps are the kick-ass, man. I don't miss the flashlight in the mouth.
It was a game changer. I did a 3-hour stream where it was almost pitch black out on this river that I was on, but I could see perfect. Like the camera was picking it up like it was so dark out, but I could see perfectly with my headlamp on. I'm like, this is a game changer. I've never been out that late on the water, and I know the area so well. I've done the trip so many times, and I know like what's in front of me and what to expect. Like there's certain areas where I can just paddle through with a dim light on in front of me, and I could make it. I've done it with a lantern on the front of my kayak, but yeah, that headlamp is a game changer. Everywhere you look, it's like, oh, perfect sight.
You cut your own hair, Stone Wolf? Yes, I do. No sense going to a barber when I just need the stuff gone.
Right. Especially if you're just doing a normal cut where you're just cutting everything to the same length.
Normally I just take everything off top. That's like I might need to shave here soon, but gray's gray.
It blends in. Yeah, who's gonna go hire somebody else to do it if you're just cutting it at the same length? Why not?
I cut it off. I shave right to the scalp. Let it grow back. It's getting pretty long. I don't know. I might shave it again before the year's out. I don't care. I just don't care about my hair or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I heard a famous comedian say something about that. He's like, yeah, I used to be worried about my hair, but it's like a dead end thing to worry about in your career because there's so many comedians that like once they get to a certain age, they just shave their heads. All of them do it. Everybody deals with baldness, and especially if you're not worried about. I mean, it does you no good to worry about your hair. You know it's gonna leave. Like I know some people that are so infatuated with like getting toupees and all this like weird shit. I'm like, what?
I'm not bald. I got a full head of hair. Right. I don't have to worry about it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I got it. Like I'm only 33, and my hairline's almost back to like the top quarter of my head. I know it's running away from me.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to shave my head at some point.
Yeah, doesn't go very. You can't see it because it's fucking white and gray.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of receding hairline, not too bad, but yeah, the hair I hate.
You just don't like having it on your head. Don't like having it long. I mean,
I sweat. I sweat bad. You know, the only reason I've been able to keep this little bit of hair, chin hair here, is because I don't sweat here as much as I do the rest of it. You know,
Gotcha.
the rest of it just goes bye bye, get it gone. And I'm about ready. I'm close to a quarter inch, about ready to get it gone. Especially with the come up, man, that's just gonna be a sweater.
a little chilly.
It's gonna be hot the whole time.
What would you need a sweater for then?
I'll be sweaty.
Oh, you're a sweater. I got you.
I'm a sweaty.
I thought
Sweaty. I got thick ass hair. I sweat a lot.
You must be European.
Dutch.
Dutch? Yeah, that makes sense. Is it the Italian, the Dutch? Those are usually the hairier gentlemen.
I'm not
more
super
testosterone.
hairy. I don't have, back hair or anything like that. I'm not super hairy, but man, I can't. It's only been a couple of months and I got a big old beard.
Yeah, I can't grow hair like that. It takes me a while.
My kids are the same way.
Yeah. I say it's in the genes then.
Yeah, I don't know where they got their genes. Neither of them are built. They're short.
Better call up that milkman. Double check.
I don't know why they're both short. I got two boys and they're both shorter, way shorter than me. I don't get it. I'm a 6-footer. They're more like their mama, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Usually they take on one of the parents. It's usually not a pretty even split. Usually one of the parents is more dominant in each kid's different, makeup.
One of them, the mental aptitude comes from me.
Yeah.
Quick as a wit, gotta love that.
It's nice when you can see little bits of yourself rubbing off in your kids, like especially if it's a good quality for them to have. You're like, oh man, I can tell that I had a little bit of influence on that. Like I like it. It's reassuring.
Well, my son just got out of the Navy after 6 years. Spent the last year traveling with us.
Yeah.
For me, it's been absolute bonus. My oldest, and yeah, he's pretty sharp.
Does he like the traveling aspect?
Yeah, he wished he could do it more, but he's got to go to school, get a job. He's going to use his military to go to school, keep going through. I mean, heck, he's a nuke tech.
Oh, okay.
So he all he wants.
Yeah, if you got a degree like that, you might as well put it to some use, make some money, and retire when you're ready.
Yeah, up his ranking, basically.
Yeah. That's just as much as a qualification, though.
I mean, just getting into the nuke school, was pretty cool. And then, graduating, almost top of his class. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you got to be proud about that.
And then he spent 4 years in the basement of an aircraft carrier.
Yeah. I never understood, but I mean, I understand for some people why they do military service and how they feel about it, but
I
I
would
would
have
only,
done it in a heartbeat if I qualified.
yeah. I went into the Marines office, and I've always been like this. I'm kind of a jackass. Um, they used to come to our school and do like talks with the kids, and during
No.
the time they would do like push up competitions and stuff like that, and they were trying to recruit me in the Marines office, and I remember saying, I was like, no, I guarantee I can do more pull-ups and push-ups than anybody you have in this office. And sure enough, they kept trying to bring guys out to outdo me, and it was fun. But then when it came to the qualifications, technically I wasn't qualified because I was
Yeah.
honest, like I wasn't lying to them. And I don't know if they've changed their policy since I was 16 or 17, but I think they asked me about drugs at one point, and I was like, no, I'm taking over 7 hits of acid because apparently that used to be a qualification. If you've taken over 7 hits of acid, you're declared clinically insane. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm insane. I guess anybody growing up in the 60s would have been considered insane, and anybody,
For me, it was the Air Force that wouldn't leave me alone.
there's the Air Force.
Yeah, I had no interest in the Air Force.
I got family members in the Air Force that love it, and then I got family members in the Army that are pretty high up. They've been in it for a long time. One of them stationed in Alaska. Um, but yeah, I've always grown up around it. I've just never. I don't know if it was because I was too honest that like once they told me that thing about acid, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'd want to join after that. Like, if you guys needed me, sure, I'd be happy to volunteer. Like, you don't even have to draft me. Like, I'd be happy to volunteer. But yeah, if you got weird stipulations like that, I don't know if I want to do it. You're gonna judge me because I tried some things that now people today are using as medicine. I'm like, they're clearing up PTSD with hallucinogens now, and
They're trying, yeah.
and you guys are the ones causing the PTSD by sending these kids to war.
I didn't get mine from that, but
But oh yeah, you can get it from anything. I just know that some of the people and the way that we treat our veterans is pretty ridiculous.
yeah, I won't argue that.
It's gotten better since Vietnam times, but it's not as good as it could be.
No, they're still dealing with people from, Vietnam, Korea.
I would say the majority of people from Vietnam never even got addressed. Like some of them literally died in the streets because they got called like baby killer. Like the public didn't support them when they came back. The military didn't support them when they came
Yeah.
back. It was just miserable. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I don't understand the situation at all. Too easy to just go ahead and take it forward, but they didn't. They just deleted it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll do better next time, they say.
Let's hope we don't have a next time.
Oh, I mean, the way that we go, that's just seems to be the way that it goes. I don't know if it's a human nature thing or what it is, but there's
Well,
always
human
somebody
nature
having
is a
war.
big factor for sure.
Yeah, there's always somebody warring out there with somebody else. How's it going, Yana? Nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Mine was a state trooper. You had a state trooper in your family?
My family's been on the other side of that scale.
I mean, Air Force with your son. Are you saying your son's the only one that's ever had military service? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, my one son was the only one went in the military.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You said the rest of your family was on the other side. I was like, what does that mean? We're criminals.
Their comment on the police.
Oh, gotcha. I always think of Super Troopers, the movie, whenever people talk about state troopers. I always wonder what their jurisdiction is, and I don't know. I've never I think over
State
police.
trooper is state trooper. That means he has jurisdiction within the state.
Are they
And
considered
it's
federal?
county and city.
Are they considered federal?
No, they're state. They're run by the governor.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were appointed federally for per state.
No, that's where you got your FBI,
Gotcha.
federal.
Oh man, how long have we been going? 3 hours and 40 minutes. All right,
Dang.
I'm gonna have one more drink, and then I'm gonna have to make myself some cheeseburgers or something. It's about that time. About to have a big dinner. I got a bunch of cheddar brats that I bought today, and a bunch of cheeseburgers, and I use this bread that doesn't have any carbs in it. It's just fiber, basically. And
Oh, wheat bread.
what's that?
Wheat bread.
I don't eat anything with yeast in it. So I think I've got like I don't know if it's processed food or what it is, but I breathe better when I don't eat things with yeast, and I also don't eat any sugar. So it's kind of hard to find anything to eat. I also don't eat potatoes. I don't eat anything with starch. Like
If you don't want yeast, all you have to do is find something that doesn't have active yeast in it. Right?
I just think my body doesn't break it down the same way as
Like corn or
natural.
corn or partially floured tortillas are your greatest thing.
What is it?
Corn or flour tortilla.
Oh, corn or flour tortilla. Yeah, they're high in sugar,
Yeah.
especially sweet corn.
They're not super high in sugar, especially the corn.
I have maybe 7 carbs a day. My diet's insane. Like I'm really weird. I know I'm really weird, but I don't know. I just feel a lot better doing this weird diet that I do. My main food group that I take, well, not food group, but the main calorie intake and stuff that I ingest is healthy fats. And then I think the second thing is proteins. So like my fat levels are super high, and my protein follows close behind it, and then everything else follows behind that. And I'm like, I have a really weird diet, and I know I do, but it seems to work out for me. Whenever I eat any kind of bread, for the most part, besides the stuff I've been buying, I can't breathe right the next day. Like it like clogs me up. I don't know what it's about, but
Then don't. I mean, that's all I can say about that one. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it.
I buy special tortillas. I get tortillas and stuff too.
They make a tomato basil flour tortilla.
Yeah.
And if you cook it a little bit, try it. Give it a shot.
Oh yeah, no, they make tomato basil low carb ones that I get all the time. They're
Yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
I love those damn things.
All
All
right,
right,
the other
Jacob.
ones? I also get the
I got to
spinner.
call it a night.
All right, man. You have a good night, Tony.
You too.
You too.